national honors list and some of the matters raised about it. Now we're joined by Representative Femi Gabajbiamila, who is a minority leader in the House of Representatives, joining us from our Abuja studios. Morning, and thank you for joining us. Well, yes, we've got comments coming through from everywhere about the honors list, and you recently perhaps still are speaking up about this in the light of the fact that yes, you once turned yours down, but does that mean that the fact that you turned it down, does this suggest or mean that those who have been honored or will be honored are not deserving of this honor?
Thank you very much. First of all,
which I turned down the national honors that was given to me, and I thank the president once again and the government for finding me a fit person to be awarded the honors last year. Unfortunately, I didn't think I had reached that point. One, I was still in office, and two, I hadn't reached the bar that I felt was required for anybody to achieve that level of honor. Now, there are two groups of people for me in the honors list, year in, year out. There are those who are what we call suspicious characters and people without integrity. And there are also names of people who have the requisite integrity, who are good men and women. But unfortunately, I still don't believe, even in their case, they have met the bar or the standard that should be required of any honors from any country. I believe what we have currently in the law is distinguished, the standard is distinguished public service. I have brought in an amendment to the law to make it exceptional contributions to our society. And so for me, I mean, getting a national honor should be like the proverbial camel going through the eye of a needle. It's got to be something, the bar has to be so high that for you to get it, you know you are actually deserving. And every member of the society would know that this name actually is deserving of the honors. We have examples. I mean, you have, in the United States, you have what you call the Presidential Medal of Honor, which is the equivalent of what we have here. You have, on the average, about 15 people per year that are awarded these honors in the United States. And there have been years where the United States have found it impossible to find people to meet that standard. And so they have gone on without even giving those awards. Mo Ibrahim Foundation is an example. You have to be out of office for you to get the Leadership Award in Africa. 2009, 2010, they didn't find anybody worthy. I mean, they were good men and they were good women, but they didn't find anybody worthy of that standard, and so they didn't give any awards. Only here in 2011 did they award the Mo Ibrahim Prize to the former president of Cape Verde, Pires, and because of his achievements in democracy in that country. So really, we have a long way to go in Nigeria. We started our award system in 63, 64. We've given almost 10,000 people awards. In the United States, that started this Medal of Freedom Award in about the same period of time. Probably about 1,000 people have collected their awards, the honors so far.
Okay, but
so there's a long way to go.
We have people who say that in the first instance, they don't see where the National Honors Act has been breached while these honors are being conferred on these persons. And then they also say that in the first instance also that it didn't state that you've got to be out of office or out of business for you to be deserving of this honor. Insofar as it hasn't been amended yet, they don't see anything wrong or any violation of this Honors Act, for instance.
Well, you know, I mean, violations don't always come in the violation of the letter. There's also a violation of the spirit. You know, not everything has to be expressed. Implicit in the law as it stands, it talks about distinguished, the standard is distinguished public service. So you see, the award as intended is to the person and not to the office. As we say in legal parlance, it's in rem as opposed to in personam. Or rather, it's in personam as opposed to in rem. As it is today, all you have to do to get an award is to be a speaker, a Senate president, a governor, a president. So you see, right there, you can see the conflict. I mean, just recently we had a minister that had to resign because of supposed conflict of interest. If you look at the procedure of national awards today, under the Constitution, the Council of State actually is empowered to advise the president on who gets national honors and who doesn't. That's the Council of State under the Constitution. But the Council of State comprises of the president, past presidents, governors, the speaker, the Senate president, and those are the same people that are being awarded national honors. So you see, when you talk about conflict of interest, it doesn't get any better than that. Last year, we had the president himself award himself the national honors. They didn't recluse themselves. So you see, it's not a president. It's not a problem for the president himself. It's a systemic problem. It's a procedural problem. It's a problem of process, and therefore, I think these are the things that need to be reformed for us to even begin to rebrand Nigeria as we say we want to.
All right, okay, Representative Gbajabiamila, you've said a whole lot, and quite frankly, what we're trying to do is see a situation whereby we can actually put it on that pedestal which you crave for. But what can we do to get off people, in your words, of suspicious character on the list, so that we can then say truly this is an honor worth deserving?
Well, first of all, like I said, it's something we need to look at the process and the procedure. I have an amendment to the National Honors Award Act. And in that amendment, you have far-reaching provisions. First of all, we try to change the standard from distinguished public service, because a lot of people, will distinguish themselves in public service. A lot of people. But that's not enough. And that standard has now been changed by my amendment to exceptional service, exceptional contributions to nation building. It has to be exceptional. In the United States, the standard is especially meritorious. That's the language of the United States law. Especially, and underline the word especially meritorious. So that has been amendment. It has gone through a second reading. We have also created a review committee which would look at the list after it must have been published in 2 dailies of wide circulation. That's also in the amendment. And it is that review committee that will review the list and then forward that to the president for final approval. And I believe also in the amendment there's a provision where the National Assembly, that's still controversial, but the National Assembly plays some role in who gets an award and who doesn't get an award. There's so many men and women in Nigeria today. I would encourage your viewers after this show to Google up the name Nuhu Kwajafa, for example, who has dedicated the last 5 years of his life to take care of orphans and less privileged people single-handedly. Just Google that name and see what he has done. This is an unsung hero. Where is his name on the honors list? We had an Olympian, a Paralympian, who got a gold medal just recently in London, coming at the heels of the last performance of even the able-bodied men. Where is his name on the list? The list itself smacks of. You would have thought that with all the hue and the cry of Nigerians last year, the year before that, government would have come out with some semblance, something a little bit more sane. One would have thought a list of maybe 20-25 names of men who you cannot question their integrity, who you can. The thing speaks for itself. Who have contributed positively to the development of Nigeria, and people would have been happy with government. That's the way. It's a no-brainer. I really sometimes you don't understand why government acts like the ostrich and just sticks its head in the sand and refuses to listen to what people are saying.